So whether you like them or whether you dislike them, there's a lot of channels out there covering WuthringWaves, and many of them do make interesting content. Some of these content creators out there, I do believe, stand out with their own unique editing styles, their fresh takes on the game. However, there's been a noticeable trend among a few of these channels that I've seen, and it's one that I think we should be able to go ahead and discuss. And that is the habit of using WuthringWaves as a launching pad to what I feel like is a hate piece against other popular gacha games, most notably Hoyoverse. So, today's topic we're going to dive into. I'm not trying to throw shade, I'm just trying to shed some light. My name is FOXSOL. Welcome back to the channel, you glorious legendary resonators, you lovely bastards. And welcome back to yet another conversation, a topic right here on the channel. So, let's just go ahead and dive in on this. So let's go ahead and take the time to give credit where credit is due. There are some truly unique and engaging content creators out there that covers WuthringWaves right now, and these content creators do bring a fresh take, interesting editing styles, and different amazing perspectives that add value not only to the game but to the community itself. They highlight just what makes WuthringWaves something that stands out, and you know, that's just awesome. But there's also a trend that's becoming pretty hard to ignore. A tendency, if you would, among a few of these channels that shift from the celebration of WuthringWaves to throwing shade at other gacha games, particularly Hoyoverse's title like Genshin Impact. And I've noticed a pattern with these videos. The video will start off by hyping up the great features that WuthringWaves just released, which is fine, and you know, it's even exciting to see this. But it will then, before you know it, the conversation will then pivot with statements such as, you know, Kuro Games is league ahead of Hoyoverse, WuthringWaves is miles better than Genshin Impact. It changes the tone now from going into an informational video to an outright combative setting that sets up this narrative that is like us versus them, which in my opinion isn't really helpful. The problem with this content approach is that when it shifts from an informational base to a confrontational stance, instead of giving fans a balanced view that shows the highs and the lows of WuthringWaves, it becomes more of a vile attack on other gacha games and their communities. And it's getting to the point where the word objective just seems to be an afterthought. Now, I'm someone who is more than willing to admit that WuthringWaves has its own issues. In fact, I believe acknowledging these areas where Kuro might have, you know, Kuro Games might have stumbled on themselves a little bit only strengthens the case of why we're so invested in this game. It's okay to say, hey, WuthringWaves isn't a perfect game, that this is an issue, but you know what? Kuro Games is getting it right now. They're fixing it, and that's why I'm excited. It shows that we are capable of supporting the game while maintaining a critical eye, which is something that I think any real fan should be able to do. But here's the thing, I keep seeing this trend where certain content creators will sweep, you know, these issues that I talk about in my streams and everything under the rug. Instead of offering a well-rounded, objective view, they'll just drop a video and it'll be titled something like why WuthringWaves does A, B, C, D, E, F, G better than Genshin, and focus solely on the comparisons. And it's like, it seems like their goal is less about discussing WuthringWaves, but more about taking shots against Hoyoverse. Almost like there's a personal vendetta at play here. This perspective comes across so over the top that it seems like Hoyoverse must have wronged him personally or something. And that's the kind of energy that I do quite frankly believe doesn't help anyone and is not good for the community. So what is the impact behind this? Well, the impact is very much toxic. We've already discussed this before. I call it toxic positivity, where the WutheringWaves community should be a place for fans to, discuss, critique, and even celebrate the game. You have these content creators and their channels pushing this overly combative, positive feeling tone behind it that invests more hostility than anything. And I get sent these videos all the time, by the way. I see them pop up in my recommended feed sometimes, and it's obvious that the approach is affecting the tone of the community as well. The unfortunate result is that fans who might want to have a more engaging, more objective thought pattern behind WutheringWaves, feel alienated or pressured into these blindly brand loyal wars that distract them from why we're really here, enjoying a game. And look, I get it. Comparisons are inevitable. WutheringWaves and Genshin Impact share some of the most basic, similar elements that you have seen. And fans are just going to naturally draw comparisons between them. But where is the line between insightful comparison and just stirring the fucking pot? By fostering this mentality that our game is better and here's why the other is terrible, these types of content creators are just creating an echo chamber where honest criticism and balanced opinions just get drowned out. And before I end this video, I'm going to leave this message here for the other content creators out there that may end up watching this video. I'm not saying to stop showing your love for WutheringWaves. We all have our reasons for supporting this game, and sharing that passion is part of what makes this community great. But let's keep it balanced. We can celebrate this game's strengths without tearing the others down. We can use our platforms to promote healthy discussions that showcase WutheringWaves for what it truly is and give viewers a full rounded picture, not just a selective comparison that just stirs up controversy. The fact is that we don't need to turn every video into Kuro Games versus Hoyoverse, or Hoyoverse versus Kuro Games debate. Let's highlight what makes WutheringWaves special, talk openly, where things can be improved at, and foster a space where new fans feel welcome without the pressure of choosing sides. That's how we keep the focus on what truly matters: the game, the story it tells us, and the players who enjoy it. Well, in any case, those are my thoughts on the direction of some of the WutheringWaves content that seems to be going around, the trend behind it, and why I think it's worth reconsidering the type of content that we are producing. The WutheringWaves community has potential to be a place for open conversation, a place where we don't need to be competitive against other gacha games. And I think it's time that, let's bring it back to the fun sharing insights, discussing character builds, speculating on the future updates, and just enjoying the game together. Alright, so if you found this conversation good, if it has helped you in any which way, shape, form, please consider hitting that like button, subscribe for more content, and just let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you believe that this us versus them mentality is just part of the gacha community and it's never going to go away? Or is it something that we should be pushing back against? Let's talk about it. Alright? So until next time, keep it classy, keep it jazzy, and always keep it real. And I'll see you on the flip side. Peace.